things here. There's going to be some investigation or research being done to explore a possible athletic hall of fame. This is to address a few different things that have come up recently, but certain classes that have won several different championships and awards want to be recognized. This could be a way of doing that. So more to come as we continue to dig into it. Boys lacrosse, decision was made to have ninth graders placed down for continued experience. This is a result of no JV team being formed this year due to numbers. We have notified the league and are going to take that game by game. Similar to football, we had to notify the other teams that were playing that ninth graders are going to be down. That's already been taken care of. Football update, so we will have a varsity team this year. People may have seen that. I think there was an article in the Pro-Star, but we will be playing at a lower level. So we'll be playing in Class D this year as opposed to our normal schedule. This has been done before in other schools, so it's not a first in history or anything like that. But just so everybody's aware, that is the plan. Good to have varsity back in this fall. Merge teams, we're going to keep an eye on the girls hockey team, which is a large merge of several schools. We currently do have one female on that team, and it looks like we do have another one that's in 7th grade coming up through the system that potentially will be playing as she gets of age. So as we continue to watch that, we're just going to make sure we do have girls participating if we're going to continue to do that merge sport. The last thing on my list, there's going to be exploration into possibly having a new club activity. It's an air rifle club. This was brought to us with an opportunity to maybe get some sponsorship money to help get it started. It is gaining some traction throughout the U.S. as a sport varsity level, but we want to see what kind of participation we're going to get first. I believe Jane Havens came to us and offered up a sponsorship opportunity to help pay for some of the stuff in this building. So more to be done on that as well. Any questions?
Football, is that increasing the number of underclassmen? Sophomores?
So, as far as playing in Class D?
Yeah, is that total numbers, or how does that?
So you can, Ryan out here tonight, so I'll explain it. So you can play down in class. So you can play down in class. You can ask to do so. So we made a request to play down in class as part of the rebuilding process. And the football committee placed us in because they're trying to sort out a schedule of classification play for all the teams involved in Section 2. So that's how that occurs. You ask to play down, what that does is it means that you are not eligible for the postseason. So putting us in a category where we should be able to compete, we think is a good idea for rebuilding the program. And we do have most of our students are coming off of JV or not having played varsity football before or JV football before. So I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add, Brett, or?
Yes, sir, and also to the impact, right? And I'm also going to be a bit better. They're actually going to get some guys back probably, but they haven't been.
I think you'll see a lot of traction in schools where they probably don't see that truck program.
Any questions, Mike? Okay.
I just need to get kind of a feel for the board on investigating the air rifle as an intramural extracurricular at this point. A lot of times when you say the word air rifle, we don't want to go down that road unless the board thinks that that's something that's appropriate. We do have a lot of students in the clay target. That occurs off-site. The air rifle is something that many schools do inside the gymnasium. They do shoot metal pellets with their CO2 powered, but the package that we looked at based on the sponsorship that was discussed with me provides lockable storage for all that as well. So I just want to make sure that the board is comfortable with us moving forward with that investigation, because if it's a hard no, then I just want to do a hard no now. So just looking for a small discussion.
Part of the case does come when they
What other schools are doing that right now?
So there's 3 in our area that have at least had a conversation about starting it that I'm aware of. So counting us. Us and Bolton and Whitehall. And they've all been reached out to by ACES Aces High Annie or Annie Aces High. It's a group that's funding these startups for students. And we definitely have a population of students who are very much into shooting sports here in Hudson Falls. It is a sport, a sectional sport in Section 6. I'm not sure which geographic region in New York that actually is, but it's not a NISPA sport in Section 2 right now, but it is recognized by NISPA at the state level as a sport. So we'd be looking at a club.
Cambridge has had one for a couple of years, but this year they don't have anybody because they lost where they were shooting. The area used to be the old firehouse, and they sold that.
That was an air rifle, or that
Air
was?
rifle.
Yep.
Is there any additional insurance policy?
We haven't gone that far, but put that on your list.
That would be within, I mean, I think it's, I'm pretty sure it's an Olympic sport too, so I mean, I think certainly it's something that if another applicant is involved.
Would we have to come here, is that the club level is still, or is that just in the section that we're doing that have teams?
Yes. Yeah, so normally for there to be a section, so if we're flipping between club and to be an official sport, we could have it as an official sport here if the board were to recognize it. But in order to have somebody to compete against, we'd have to have other schools that had that sport. For the section to recognize it as a sport, there has to be at least, I think it's 4 teams in to recognize it as a sectional sport, and even then they don't run sectionals with that few teams. There's a bunch of kind of marking posts to get there to ramp it up. So we're looking at as a possible intramural, and it normally runs in the wintertime when you are competing. But we also have had some conversations minimally about as an intramural, do we start it as something other than the wintertime, because the wintertime are when our gymnasiums are the most crowded. So we didn't finish that conversation, so just looking to see some head nods. It looks like there's no there isn't a group of people saying, no, we don't want to investigate it for our kids. I did have a person reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in advising this if there's an opportunity to do so.
Do you have any questions?
More to come when I know more.
Okay,
Thanks.
absolutely. That concludes athletics. Move to audit. Mrs. Rinaldi.
I don't think it like goes on, and then I've done that a few times, and then it goes away. But it's green now, so we'll start with that. Oh, there. It's blinking red. and
Batteries
green.
are probably dying.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right, so this is the treasurer's report. I'll start with the treasurer's report for the month of February. In the general fund, we had 4.7 in receipts and 4.7 in disbursements, leaving us a balance in the general fund of $8.1 million. And then we have a total cash on hand of $11.5 million. The extracurricular account balances are also in your board docs. There were a few kind of large activity type transactions. Basketball had done some clothing for, to show support for the Tiger basketball team. So there's some receipts and payments in there. There's some transactions for the drama club for the musical. Middle school student council has a trip, it looks like, that they had done a payment for. Team Oneana in the middle school did a team night that looks like it was very successful. And then the senior high student council did donations to the South High Marathon Dance and also Operation Santa Claus. So that is great work on all of those clubs and activities. The monthly bills are also in board docs, as well as the appropriation status report and the revenue status report. We do have a budget transfer in the amount of $29,501.96. That was for medical insurance, so that needs approval. That's not supposed to be. And I think that was a lot of budget activity as well, so I will turn it over to Kevin and Dan for the budget plan
Yep, so
adoption.
I'll pop that right up there, and you have access to it in there, but I'll pop it up on the screen. So it says hearing, obviously tonight is not our hearing, but as you know, we preview the hearing and provide all the information in that same exact format for all of you for your approval this evening. So I realize today is not May 12th as well. So the budget development goals have stayed the same. They've been fairly consistent over the last couple of years, enhancing school safety. So in our budget, we do have a $100,000 project that includes the blue safety lights, the blue lockdown lights for the high school building. So there is a $100,000 project baked into our budget. As you know, we can do one of those each year and receive our building aid on that. And Kevin can talk more about that if you'd like to know about the reimbursement. We want to be fiscally responsible. You'll see at the end that we're going out at a 1.9. We're recommending to you to approve going out of the 1.9 levy increase over last year. Our tax cap is much higher than that, and you'll see that in there as well. We're about 5.03% budget to budget, just slightly over 5% budget to budget. And the budget certainly supports the mission and the strategic plan going forward. And as you know, I'm big on making sure that this is out in front of everybody when we're talking about budget. And you can see our vision, value statement that we've worked on and been focusing on for the past several years. And you can see the infographic that we had for the strategic plan as well. And you can see the district level goals there at the bottom. And it's a great night to have our principals here because they've been doing an awful lot to support that in their buildings throughout the last year and a half, pretty much. So some facts. You are all familiar that we share the facts every year because sometimes people who are coming out to look at the budget don't pay a lot of attention to what's happening to the school day to day. They come out for one reason, to support the budget or hear about the program that they're supporting with their tax dollars. So we like to provide that information to you and to them. But I won't read through them all for you, but it is interesting to talk about 156 acres. That's incredible that that's the size of our grounds here in Hudson Falls. So you can see the calendar. We're recommending we need to adopt the budget this evening to stay on time. Certainly if there's something glaring that's upsetting to the board or we need to talk about, we can talk about that. The budget notice needs to go out by May 2nd. The public hearing is on May 12th. That's a Monday. That's the one board meeting a year that we move from the Tuesday back to the Monday. It makes it so you folks aren't out 2 nights in a row.